Here's the second of my homemade pop-up books. If you've seen the other one, you know it's the Wizard of Oz one, and the link to that is in the description. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. This one I used some Cricut brand Winnie the Pooh paper that was on sale. It wasn't as exciting as the graphic 45 Wizard of Oz paper pack that I'd found, so I had to supplement it with some of my own clip art and some stickers I bought. But I added 6 pages in all, and tried some more elaborate pop-up and mechanical mechanisms that I've been learning about thanks to the channels of Duncan Birmingham and Matthew Reinhart and some of the great folks out there who are paper engineers. Kudos go out to them because this stuff is not easy. Anyway, this is a little tour through this. This is my Winnie the Pooh pop-up book. We have a tree from the 100-acre wood, and of course part of a honeycomb with a little bee in there, and a cute little Winnie, and some butterflies that always like to cheer things up. So this is, and the paper, it's hard to tell. This paper does have some little designs in it that sort of look like a green honeycomb, but it was basically just a good background. So we open the front cover, and the inside covers just some of the paper that shows Tigger, and nothing exciting there. And we open the first spread, and some of these we have to help a little bit because it's been laying flat for a while. But so here we have an introduction to Winnie the Pooh. Over here it says, "Meet Winnie the Pooh. You can call him Pooh or Pooh Bear if you like." And back here we have a scene of where he lives in the 100-acre wood. Here he's just out there with one of his little friends. The main pop-up is a V-fold with a honey pot and a dancing Winnie. You can see he pops up. Over here on the sign we have Tigger and then a goofy Winnie in his little sleeping mask and sleeping cap doing some sleepwalking. Oh, and one thing I decided to do in this book is add some quotes. So these are all quotes from Winnie the Pooh. And so this one is, "The things that make me different are the things that make me." I think that's kind of cool. And on this V-fold that folds in, this one folds forward, we have Tigger. We have a funny little Winnie in his little bee suit. We've got a little muscle here that's popping up this with Winnie and Eeyore. And of course the V-fold at the back is what pops that up. We've got part of the housing in the 100-acre wood, and just a funny picture of Winnie dressed up, Tigger, and here's a meeting of the gang. We've got Kanga and Roo and the rabbit and the owl, and Christopher Robin talking about Eeyore's tail. So that's page 1. And page 2 is all about the bees, or as Eddie Izzard would say, I'm covered in bees. So at the back here we have a beehive with lots of bees fluttering around. I used coils, just something in some of my pop-up books, and also from a video of Duncan's. We have Winnie over here with a honey pot on his head. He's running away from the bees. The quote back here is, "When life throws you a rainy day, play in the puddles." Winnie said that. So this beehive in the back is basically a V-fold with this muscle that brings up Winnie laying on his back with a full tummy and a honey pot on his belly and some bees and honeycombs. We have another coil with some bees flying around on the coils. And coming out from the muscle from here, we've got a mussel holding this up. This is what pulls these up. We have just Winnie telling a little secret to his pig pal. And over here we have a picnic blanket with honey. And I decided to do a pull strip. So this says pull. And this is the pull that does, it's kind of hard with gloves on here. This is the pull that does the reverse action. I'm pulling the pull to me, and yet the tab is going away from me. So there's Winnie popping up with holding a honey pot with the bees on his nose, and it's hiding him sitting on a little log. But we know he likes his honey. And here, this quote is, he's looking at a cuckoo clock and kind of mesmerized by it. And he says, life is a journey to be experienced, not a problem to be solved. And this V-fold in the front that's popping up that has him with Tigger hugging each other arm in arm because they're good buddies. So that is that spread. See if I can get a better picture of it further away. Oops. All right. And then the next page is all about his friends. So here they are, and I have this twist and fold mechanism that's pretty cool because it folds flat, obviously, and it's hidden, and yet it pops out way higher and lower than the page. But so we have Rabbit, and we have Pooh, and we have Christopher Robin, we've got Eeyore, and the book. We've got the whole gang, Christopher and Tigger and Kanga, and then of course over here we've got Kanga and Roo. The three best bows there, just pals, just hugging and being happy. And one of these quotes is, a little consideration, a little thought for others makes all the difference. Isn't that a nice quote? And over here we have a big Tigger and the owl and the pig. Down here again, we have Piggy and Pooh laying down, sleeping, and they're happy, and the rabbit. And this quote kind of goes with that. A friend is someone who helps you up when you're down, and if they can't, they lay down beside you and listen. So I think that's sort of sweet. And then we've got Eeyore over here, who's just kind of grumpy in this one, but they're all still friends and pals. So I put pop dots on some of these to pop them up three-dimensionally more. And unfortunately, when I close this, I have to kind of move Pooh's foot out of the way, which is to not catch on those, which is one of the things that all those paper engineers that build these, they really have to think about this at every turn, what interferes with what else. But see how that just closes and lays flat. All right, this next page is more about 100 Acre Wood. It gave me fits galore. It works best lying completely flat, but it's hard with this book being as bulky as it is. And so over here we have, first of all, let's see, we have a V-fold in the back that has a muscle that's bringing up Pooh and Tigger. It's got a muscle that's bringing up the gang that are in the 100 Acre Woods listening to a speech by probably Christopher Robin. And one of the quotes, sorry if I'm not giving this a good enough view while I'm describing, I should pay more attention. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And I have some leaves in different patterns around this backdrop of, and some grass around this backdrop of Tigger, just for some variety. And it kind of goes with the tree that I'll show you in a moment. There's a strap under here that is allowing this V-fold to pop up and this V-fold. And so here we have Pooh and Piggy with some honey. Got the sign in the back, 100 Acre Wood. And then we have this flap that says open me. I tried to get this in the center, and for a million reasons I couldn't. But what this does when this whole thing is laying flat, if we open this, it pops up this tree from the 100-acre wood. And it's a three-dimensional slice form, it's called, which I learned about on several videos, including one from Jennifer Maker. I had to adjust several things with the foliage and the base, but it's pretty cool how it can pop up so high and look so amazing, and yet it folds flat. So, and I had to make it several different times because it was different sizes and too big and lots of problems. But and under there we have some of the trees hiding, a honey pot, of course, a bee and some leaves, and then another quote, which, if I can see this, is, I always get to where I'm going by walking away from where I've been, which is very good advice for all of us. So I will fold this back. It fits in here, and this folds up. And so the next page is a very elaborate, interesting couple of mechanisms, both from Matthew and from Duncan's websites, that talk about unfurling mechanisms and arms, similar to one that Matthew has and Robert Sabuda in their Gods and Heroes book, although I tried to make it with Winnie. And so as it opens up, his hand that's stuck in the honey pot spins around, and his right arm unfurls to show you a bee and a butterfly that he's holding. And it's pretty elaborate little sets of, not little, big sets of mechanisms. In fact, I kind of can't get a good view of it all. And so the main quote here is about a day without laughter is a day wasted. So this is a lot of just some of the goofy antics of the gang. So we've got Rabbit there with a pot on his head. We've got Pooh under there with an oven mitt on his head. Roo jumping around. Tigger doing a handstand. Pooh with a rumbly grumbly tummy from eating too much honey. And we've got the wise old owl with the book over his head. These guys are goofballs. And on this side, we've got Tigger painting some stripes on Eeyore, so he looks a little bit like him. And then the piggy just on her little rear end, kind of laughing. And so that's a pretty cool spread, and lots of interesting folds and mechanisms, and turned out pretty well. So I do have to help force some of it closed because I've got some pop-ups, but it's pretty amazing it lays flat. And then our last page, which of course also is in the confines of the book, is a double V-fold extender, and look how high this thing pops up. In fact, you can't even see it. I'm going to have to move back the camera if I can, because that's how high it is. So I will try to go back. I need a camera person here. And this, of course, folds in and hides, but then pops way, way, way up. I wish we could see this. I'm going to need to do a better image of this. At any rate, this says, nobody can be uncheered with a balloon. And got lots of balloons sticking out. Over here we have Tigger standing on Pooh's belly, just playing. And here Pooh sitting and looking up. He loves watching the balloons. Eeyore over here has to grab onto some flowers because he's being pulled up with this red balloon that's got quite a bit of helium in it. And over here we've got another quote. It's hard to be brought down when you have a balloon. And I threw in a little balloon animal there as an homage to Fubsy the Clown. Got some butterflies. I used some clear acetate here to see how that worked. And it pulls up these guys when this opens. But it's pretty rigid. Paper actually works a little bit better. And we've got some balloons back there. A lot of three-dimensionalness in that. And I'm just going to see if I can do this again. Can I move this back? So can you really see? If I can try to fold this up. Flat, and then all the way it pops up. All of this. Of course, it helps if I can hold both. It doesn't hit the backdrop, and if it holds both sides up. So that's pretty cool. And that was very, very tricky. It's not that most of, whoops, you care, but we have 2 4-ply because they need lots of strength struts back here. And let me see if I can do this. I know this is probably making everyone sick because it's all wobbly. But the more I can open that, the more rigid it gets and the more this whole thing pops up then. Boy, I need a better picture of that. Can I do it that way? You kind of see some of the depth. Anyway, so that is that one. And it's a good way to end this book because they're all very happy. And as it says, it's hard to be brought down when you have a balloon. And I think that's the last page. And then just one of the end papers was more of the Pooh paper. So that is my Winnie the Pooh pop-up book.